Lottery for Life here, bringing guys a brand new deck profile. This time around it is Cubics, one of my personal favorites, which is kind of funny because I haven't seen the movie yet, but I really want to see it. I really freaking love Cubics. They're such a fun archetype, and I feel like they're only a few busted cards away from being really good. And heck, honestly, not even a few busted cards, because as we've seen with Lynx, they are really close to being good. So I wanted to just go ahead and update my cubic deck profile and show off what I've been tinkering around with the deck. So let's get on with it. First and foremost, we got our boss monster, Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. He's a big, bad, scary boss monster. 3k attack, 0 defense, level 10. Cannot be normal summoned or set, can only be special summoned by revealing 3 cubic cards of different names in your hand. He's unaffected by all monster effects that are activated by a monster of an original attack of 3k or less. And if he kills a monster in battle, he can attack a second time. And during the end phase, both players take 3,000 damage. Now, that burn effect is the only hard once per turn effect, so you can chug out 3 of these guys in one turn, each of them double attacking with 3k, and then your opponent's going to take 3k to the face. I mean, so will you, but your opponent's taking a heck of a lot more damage. This thing is honestly one of the best boss monsters I've seen in a long time, and it's a very, very good one for a, honestly, overall mediocre deck. But I freaking love it. He's honestly the main star of the show and why this deck is actually able to do stuff in tandem with one other dude, and that is, of course, Duza, the Meteoric Cubic Vessel. So Duza, whenever he is normal or special summon, you can send any cubic card from your deck to the graveyard. During either player's turn, if a monster went to your graveyard this turn, you can pump him up by 200 attack for every monster with a different name in your graveyard. The big thing is that he can send any cubic spell, trap, monster, whatever to your graveyard, and like with everything else in this deck, I swear this is designed like a GX deck where nothing's once per turn. So you can basically send like half your deck to the graveyard by summoning this guy over and over and over and over, and that's the whole point of this, because thankfully their spells and traps are not once per turn either, so thanks to Lynx we can abuse the ever-living hell out of a lot of this deck's abilities. Now then, for the final 3 of Cubic, we got Vijam, the Cubic Seed. Vijam's pretty cool. He's a level 1, can't be destroyed in battle, has 0 attack and defense. If he battles an opponent's monster, you can put him in your back row and then put a cubic counter on your opponent's monster that battled him. Monsters with cubic counters cannot attack and their effects are negated. And then I think for certain ones they have their attack and defense dropped to 0, but Vijam is not one of those. And then while he's in your back row, you can spell summon to your field. Why can't freaking Crystal Beast special summon themselves from the back row? The world will never know, but I digress. Moving on, we got triple Yugioh Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk is really, really freaking good in this deck because you can pitch one of your spell cards, most likely Cubic Wave or Cubic Karma, and then summon out Duza from deck, send another dude to graveyard, and then just go off from there. Really freaking good for the deck, and is another combo maker. And likewise, so is Gold Gadget and Silver Gadget, who do the exact same thing whenever they are normal summoned, or I believe special summoned too. Yeah, normal or special summoned, you can summon out a level 4 or lower machine from your hand, and if they die, they summon another gadget from deck. Both effects are hard once per turn, and you can only use one or the other, but not both, which is a bit annoying, but hey, it doesn't really matter too much, as generally speaking, you will normal summon one and then summon out Duza, because again, this whole deck revolves around Duza and Crimson Nova, and just turboing out like crazy to destroy your opponent and make them hate their life. For the final few monsters, we got good old Gen X Ally Birdman, just helps out with more combos and plays. You bounce back Duza to your hand, summon him, and then thanks to Cubic, unification of the Cubic Lords, you will get another free monster. It is stupid and I love it. Then we got one Buster Gundo. He's a, well, technically 0, but if he's summoned by his own effect, which requires you to send 3 cubics from your field to the graveyard, he becomes a 3k triple attacker who on death summons 3 cubics from your graveyard and then searches you any cubic card from your deck. Good old Indiora Doom Vault does the same thing, but becomes a 2400 attacker with who burns your opponent for 800, and then also searches out and summons 3 dudes on destruction. And then we got Vulcan, who you send 2 to summon him. He burns your opponent for 800, and then you can, after he battles, you can tribute him, summon up to what, I think 2 or 3 cubics, up to 3 cubics from your graveyard, and then add YugioH Indiora, if I remember right. It's either Indiora, yeah, it's Indiora. You know, just add it to hand and then summon him in main phase 2. And then we got YgoAmino Ghoul, who needs 1 dude on field to summon. He burns your opponent for 800, becomes 800 attack, and then after he kills something, or sorry, battles, you can tribute him, spell summon 2 cubics from your grave, and then search out Vulcan. So it kind of like rank up like that. It's really weird how they design cubics, like the main way of playing them, but however, they got a bunch of different ways of like actually utilizing them. Hopefully one day the main way of playing cubics will become relevant, but that requires cubics to get more stuff. Thinking of them as like a reverse Infernoid. Like seriously, if you ever look at the archetype, it's literally like reverse Infernoid. Next up, we got Triple Cubic Wave. This card is mean, and I love it. So this card, whenever you activate it, you target 1 cubic monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls, double your monster's attack and half your opponent's monster's attack. By the way, this is permanent. And it's not once per turn, so you can target your Crimson Nova, he becomes 6k, your opponent's Boral Load becomes 15. Oh wait, no, Boral Load can't be targeted, so Boral Guard becomes 15. And then you can activate it a second time, your Crimson Nova becomes 6k. I mean, sorry, 12,000, 120,000. And then you can activate another one and just go off from there, and it's just really, really mean. Also, this card has another cool effect in Graveyard where you can banish it from your graveyard, and any number of cubic monsters from your graveyard, then put cubic counters on monsters your opponent controls up to the number of cubic monsters you banished for this card's effect in Grave. Again, another really good effect, but doesn't come up as often. It really only comes up whenever your opponent has something annoying, like a Time Lord, a Boral Load. Well, I don't even know about Boral Load because I think this targets too, because everything targets nowadays. It does not target, yay, so the graveyard effect does not target. But, you know what I mean, it gets around annoying things like Boral Load, Time Lord, so on and so forth. And since it doesn't target, you can also negate your opponent's nightmares effects, because, hey, screw Goblin. So yeah. And then we got Triple Cubic Karma. Karma is another great card and is honestly the main one you want in your graveyard. I can skip over its main effect, but honestly it's got a whole bunch of good effects. So when you activate it, you target 1 cubic you control, send any number of Vajam from your hand or deck to the graveyard. The cubic you targeted gains 800 attack for every Vajam sent. If Vajam is special summoned during your opponent's turn, you can send this card from your field to the graveyard to half your opponent's life points. And if this card is in your graveyard, you can banish it as a not once per turn effect, again, to search out any cubic monster. So again, the main thing that you're going to be using is the banish from graveyard to search out any cubic monster, but I digress, you do use the attack buff with the Vajams every now and then. So kind of got to mention that. The searching again is not once per turn, so you can just go off like crazy and just search a lot of cards. Next up, we got Double Pot of Desires for extra synergy, well not synergy, extra search draw power, you know what I mean. Just extra consistency buffs, because this deck is super inconsistent. No matter what build of cubics you try, there will be super inconsistencies. Like if you open nothing but cubic spells and traps, you're kind of screwed, but I digress. Then, because this deck gets kind of destroyed by hand traps, got doubled called by the grave, because just screw Ash Blossom and everything she stands for. Double Fool's Burial Goods, because sending your spells and traps that you want to use in your graveyard is pretty cool. 2 Fusing Conscription, because you can search out Crimson Nova pretty easily. Typically, you only do this during first turn when you don't want to summon your Crimson Nova, or if you want to try and actually get them to your hand. You can also grab it from the graveyard too, which this deck does not have many ways of getting stuff from the graveyard to the hand, so that's pretty cool. 1 Monster Reborn, because, hey, Monster Reborn's legal, and might as well abuse it while we can. 1 Soul Charge, because, hey, I hear that's fair. And then finally, 40 Traps, Triple Unification of the Cubic Lords. Unification has 2 effects, but only one of them is actually relevant. The on-field effect is whenever you activate it, you fusion summon a cubic fusion monster by using monsters you control or in your hand as fusion material. Cool, it's a trap version of polymerization, not relevant. But its graveyard effect is, well, whenever a cubic leaves the field, any way whatsoever, you can banish this card from your graveyard, spell summon a cubic from your deck, ignoring summoning conditions, and yeah, it's just really mean. Now, it only summons a level 4 or lower cubic, so it's not like you can cheese out Crimson Nova, but however you can cheese out Buster Gundel and Diora, get their search effects next turn, and also, more importantly, search special summon Duza, and then dump another one to your graveyard. Now the cool thing is that the monster you summon off of this card's effect from the graveyard is, well, immune to destruction. Battle or card effect. So that means that if your opponent does happen to kill your Crimson Nova and this is in your graveyard, you can banish it, summon out a Duza, and unless they spin it back with like a Nightmare Unicorn or something, you don't have to worry about them killing it. Although if you summon out a Duza, you're gonna just send another copy of this to your graveyard, and then, oh, they spun it back with Nightmare Unicorn. Okay, cool, summon another one from deck. It's really, really stupid. So that's the main deck. Moving on to the extra deck. It used to be that this deck really did not have very many good cards in the extra deck that you could really take full advantage of, but now thanks to links, we do. And the big thing is that unification of the cubic lords triggers no matter what. It doesn't matter how your cubic leaves the field, it will trigger. You use it for a link summon, it will trigger. You use it for a synchro summon, it will trigger. Your opponent kaijus your Crimson Nova, it will trigger. It doesn't matter how, so long as your cubic leaves the field, it will trigger, and you will get this special summon a dude from deck, ignoring summoning conditions. So, first and foremost, we got one Link Kuriboh, because Fujam's a level 1, and well, that's just nice. One Nightmare Mermaid, because I don't like Ibli being given to me, and I'd want to get it off my board. One Nightmare Goblin, because extra normal summons are pretty cool. One Nightmare Cerberus for generic monster popping. One Nightmare Phoenix for generic monster popping. One Nightmare Unicorn for generic popping in general, that's not actually popping, but spinning. One Sylvan Princess Sprite, because they do get to occasionally have multiple Fujams out on the field, and she's honestly the best rank 1. Getting to just excavate our cards from our deck to our hand and stuff, it's pretty great. One Abyss Dweller to counter graveyard effects. One Baguska, because this thing's annoying as all hell. One Heavy Armored Train Iron Wolf to go for that last damage, because hey, 2200, and I mean, well, it's just really dirty, I like it. One Gigant X for extra searching. He also gets Duza back from graveyard, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and also Iron Wolf, if he dies, he does another search effect, kind of like Gigant X, but just not as good. One Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max for the extra burn damage, because if you get 2 Crimson Novas, and ideally 3, you can do 5,000 damage. And possibly go for game with this guy. And likewise, one number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora for a similar reason, just as being a more defensive option over Gustav Max. For our synchro, I'm playing one Michael the Arch Lightsthorn for just general usage. Main thing is that you can banish, you can pay 1,000 life points, banish any card on the field. Really nice, just getting rid of stuff, and it targets, unfortunately, but hey, it's pretty good. And then finally, one Crimson Nova Trinity the Dark Cubic Lord. Now, if you ever actually summon this, your opponent you deserve to win. You just deserve to win. But anyways, this thing needs 3 Crimson Nova. The Dark Cubic Lord, just regular Crimson Nova. Whenever it attacks, your opponent's life points are halved. It can attack twice in a turn. Any burn damage you take, your opponent takes as well. And this thing cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. It's wonderful, and it's a 4,500 beater, and your opponent's life points get halved every single time this thing attacks. And since it can attack twice, your opponent's life points are screwed. And if this thing attacks directly while your opponent's at 8,000, they go straight down to 4K, and then damage is conducted, and your opponent takes 45 to the face, winning you the game. Now, granted, does that happen often? Hell no. I mean, in this particular build, I have never actually summoned this thing. I do have a turbo build that I have not yet updated, but I do plan on doing so relatively soon. That focuses on turboing this thing out. So, because it's not the hardest thing in the world, but it is still kind of difficult, just because you got to get 3 Crimson Novas to your hand, and that might take a bit longer than what you want. So that's the deck profile, guys. What do you guys think of this updated version of Cubics? I've been having a blast with it. It's so far also my most successful competitive deck at the moment for like actual playing in tournaments, although not that I play in too many anyways, which depending on when this video goes up, you might see a video before or after, although I'm pretty sure you've already seen it. So yeah, this video's going up after I do my video on why I'm not doing tournaments anymore. So just look at the title and card thingy, you know, the little cards in the top right corner, left corner, or you'll probably see it. If not, it might be, you probably already saw it anyway. So guys, what do you guys think of this deck profile? Thank you all for watching. What's your opinion on it? Do you have any ideas, recommendations, concerns, anything at all that you think would be a cool little tech card or change to this deck? I may not always respond to your comments, but I do read your comments. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. If it's your birthday, happy birthday. See y'all later. Peace out and goodbye.